It is Tuesday, January 14th, and you're listening or watching live on Facebook or Twitter to another edition of the Boiler Breakdown Podcast. I'm Tanner Lee, along with Andrew Eiler and Evan Webb. You can find them on Twitter at AEiler3 and at ET_Webb. You can find me at _T_Lee. And you can follow the Boiler Breakdown on Twitter at BoilerBreakPod, also on Instagram. Yeah.
Hot start. How are you, Andrew?
I'm good. I always just fired up about Purdue football,
Exactly,
Purdue basketball, I guess.
Purdue basketball, yeah, big win on Sunday.
Yeah. Where are you, Webby?
I am coming to you live from Springfield, Illinois for work.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
City by the Bay.
That's what they say.
I am back. I apologize for that. My neighbor started the car up and my dog went nuts, and he's outside. You can probably hear him barking. So, what did I miss?
I told him where I was.
Oh, Illinois again.
Illinois, yeah.
Yep. And we got a viewer from Hammer and Rails over there. Shout out to those guys at Hammer and Rails. Kyle Holderfield over there on Twitter. So those guys always produce great content, so check them out. Hammer Rails, the website. You can like them on Facebook, listen to their podcast, follow them on Twitter at Hammer Rails. All right, you got to get this thing back on track.
Elway is not happy.
Well, I'm recording in my kitchen, and the neighbor's driveway is right there, and they're outside, I think, so he's not happy. So, anyways, what difference a week can make for our Boilermakers. A week ago, we weren't feeling very good after getting shellacked in Champaign by Illinois, but split the games with both Michigan programs, and I'm feeling a lot better.
Do you feel what were we saying? I'm sorry, Andrew. I was interrupted you. I'm going to keep talking.
Nope, go for it.
What we were saying, we talked about this last week. We were going into kind of the stretch of you had the Illinois game, you had at Illinois, at Michigan, home against Michigan State, and then at Maryland. What was your those four games? What were you hoping record-wise before the murder in Champaign happened? What was your hope?
I'd say probably 2-2. I mean, thinking that Illinois and then steal one of the other. I mean, Michigan State, I guess, at home, but
yeah,
I don't know. Get one of the other two on the road, if not the home game, but
yeah.
I am okay splitting Michigan State.
Yeah.
The loss to Illinois still hurts, especially because of that great
They're ranked
offensive.
now, so I mean it hurts.
That
in a way,
yeah.
But just I guess it hurts the fact
that great offensive performance.
Ranked for the first time since 2014, which is pretty incredible for Illinois.
Yeah.
School that has quite a history of basketball. But going into the Illinois game, I wanted to go 2-2 over the 4-game stretch of at Illinois. At Michigan State at home, at Maryland. Got a chance to do that if we can beat Maryland on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Tall task, but
definitely tall. It's got to be a tough matchup. And we'll get into that game more later. But it's a tough place to play for the Boilers. It's a place where Maryland hadn't lost a game all year. So, yeah. But to recap the Maryland or the Michigan game real quick, heartbreaker for the Boilers. Game. Double overtime. Purdue sports have had a lot of overtime games recently.
I know. I was thinking that during the game. I was like, I feel like this is more overtime than I was used to. I don't know. It just felt we had one in football this year against Indiana, double overtime. Did we have one earlier in the year? I can't remember with football.
No.
We had overtime last year with Wisconsin. That didn't end well. And obviously we had this year in basketball, or I guess this season we had the Florida State game. Was VCU overtime? No.
Minnesota was double overtime.
So yeah.
And then you go back to the tournament, and Virginia and Tennessee were overtime games.
Yep. So
2019, you had quite a few overtime games, and now it's carrying over to 2020. I could go without an overtime game for quite a while. But really, the story coming away from Michigan was the emergence of Travion Williams. Had his career game of 36 points, 20 rebounds. First Boilermaker to do that since Bob Ford in 1971. Only a handful of people around the country have done that in the last decade. So we just kept going to him. feed the big man, feed the hot hand. And he was making some incredible shots, including a 3-pointer.
That was
huge. That was like 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
To put Purdue up by 2, I think they were down when he hit that, or maybe to cut it to 1. I don't remember, but it was like end of the shot clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Then when that went in, I was like, okay, this obviously he'd already had a great game already, but it was like literally he could throw it up from wherever, and it was going in. And I think it was something where I think they even said in the scouting report that the last game Michigan played, the guy that Teskey was guarding, it might have been Minnesota.
Oh yeah,
was it Minnesota?
Otoro.
Yeah. They just let him.
I think he had like
beating him. Yeah, just like, and then hey, we're gonna let you do it. It was kind of the same thing with a couple years ago when we had Isaac Haas. Was okay. They're gonna let you either had a chance. Now it's a completely different team and not the same circumstance, but it kind of felt that where we were gonna give it to Isaac Haas, and then either we were gonna double team him and he was gonna kick out to a shooter, or he was gonna just bully his way into the lane, and they were letting Travion just do whatever the heck he wanted to do.
Yeah, and Purdue definitely had their chances to win that game. I mean, if one shot goes in, one more shot goes in, they win that game probably in regulation or in overtime, because they had the chance at the end of regulation to win and a chance at the end of overtime to not win, but at least have the lead when Michigan got the ball back, but couldn't convert either time.
They had a 3 that probably should have counted for at least a punt.
Oh yeah,
how far it went.
Was
down,
that in overtime or regulation?
No, that was regulation.
Yeah, I thought.
But yeah, it was just gravity must be different in Ann Arbor, because I don't know how that worked, because that was in.
He hasn't hit a 3 in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it was hilarious. You guys are both at the Michigan State game, so when he got fouled and made the 3 free throws, the announcer's like, "Oh man, this is gonna get him going."
I thought the same thing.
And then,
when he hit those couple, I think we hit like 4 free throws in a row. I was like, all right, here we go. And then I thought then we had that one that was
down
in, down and out. I was like, God, I thought that was it. Yeah, I thought the same exact thing from my seat. I thought, okay, he got it early. Three shots all went in. All right, here we go.
And then he proceeded to go like 0-5 with some pretty clean looks.
Yeah.
At least his shot is looking confident the last couple of games. He's just not making it. Yeah. If he can get going, Purdue can. I mean, that's going to really help a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I haven't seen No Chell Eastern's free throws in about 10 games, because he goes through spurts where he goes 0 for 1 or 1 for 10. I don't know. What is he doing?
I feel like
his legs are like dead straight, like locked.
Game. I think it's different.
Yeah,
I agree. I think every time I'm waiting for him to do granny style soon, because one game it was right-handed, one game it was like one-handed, one game he dribbled, one game he doesn't.
No bend knee thing before, and then I don't know.
I don't know, but whatever works. But
it didn't though. That's the thing. It didn't.
Hey,
last game.
I think his percentage went up.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
1 for 3. It's going up.
But the Boilers rebounded well from that loss to Michigan, that close loss. They were fired up on Sunday and just smoked Michigan State 71-42. I think you guys agree with me. Besides beating Indiana, this is the other opponent you like to see Purdue beat more than any other.
Yeah, it's kind of getting to a point. I kind of texted the group where I almost enjoy beating them more.
Yeah,
I think it's just more of a couple things. They're usually relevant.
Oh, you're gonna make some people mad, Webby.
Everybody
south of Minneapolis says they've been relevant for.
Yeah, but and just more of just because that athletic department is a cesspool and deserves to be fired into the sun, and so it's nice to beat the bad guys, the literal bad guys.
I agree. I do like seeing Tom Izzo cry.
Oh, it's glorious. He's such a baby. Boilermakers dominated from the get-go, from start to finish. Shot 46% from the field compared to Michigan State's 35%. Shot 36 from behind the arc. Michigan State only shot 12%, made 2 of 16 threes.
10 from 3. I think.
0
of 9 in the first half, and then missed their first one in the second half.
Michigan State only shot 6 free throws, made 4 of them. Purdue shot 18, making 11 of them. Purdue out-rebounded Michigan State 35-32, including 13-11 on the offensive glass. Purdue had 16 assists to Michigan State's 7, 8 steals to Michigan State's 4. Turnovers, this was huge. Michigan State had 18 turnovers. Purdue only had 6. Only one of those coming in the first half. I thought that was really the big thing of the game.
Have 9 of those turnovers?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
10 points, 9 turnovers for Cassius Winston. The 2 games previous combined, he had 59 points and only 4 turnovers. Credit to Matt Painter's game plan and the guys for stepping up and playing great defense. Every time he drove the lane, they just collapsed on him, created a wall, and he couldn't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I really thought everybody played pretty good. Stat-wise, leading scorer was Travion with 16 points. He had 7 boards and 4 assists, 7 to 14 shooting. You also had Evan Boudreau with 11 points. Do you guys think that was his best game in a Purdue uniform?
Yes.
Yeah.
By far. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like what other games he's had that were good, and I couldn't think of any that were against quality. Opponents.
I know. Yeah, agreed. I think early on last year against some non-conference, he hit some jumpers and looked pretty good, and then he kind of faded once he got into conference play. Grady, he got hurt, and Grady stepped up, and there really wasn't a whole lot of minutes done for him.
On Boudreau, had only hit 1 3 on the season going into this game. He went 3 for 5 from the end.
Hopefully that kind of sees it go in, because I mean he was a shooter at Dartmouth. Obviously, Big Ten's a whole different level of play, but hopefully seeing those go in and seeing the success, hopefully that, because with this team, we've got the bigs obviously, but we need those role players around them to contribute, and that's when we struggle, is when no one, or you got one guy doing everything, or you got one guy contributing and everyone else just being out there, just because we have to have 5 guys on the floor. So if we can get him, and I don't even need him to score 11 or 12, just hit like 2 threes or score 8 points, and that's have that from 4 or 5 other guys, and that's that's the difference with this season, I think.
Well, and then how about those 2 charges he took in the second half, back to back?
Yeah.
When I think the game was like 11 or 12, Michigan State was like on the edge of cutting it to single digits, which would have been huge after being down 24 or something at one point. To cut it to 8 or 9 would have been kind of hard. Would have been hardening. Could have hurt.
They did that last year, I think, at Mackey. We were up big, and then they cut it down. I want to say
seems like they do that every time they play.
Yeah, I mean, I knew at halftime I was like, man, this is gonna suck when they come back, because they're gonna make a run. I figured.
12, but that was it.
Yeah, I thought for sure. I think last year they got it down to 2 or something like that, and we fought them back. We never really kind of kept them at arm's length the entire time. And then
I got a question about that.
Izzo's reaction to all of Boudreau's threes were hilarious. He
haven't seen this.
Did an eye roll and just threw his hands up every time. It was great. But Andrew, you're gonna ask a question.
So about that, you guys were just like waiting for the comeback. Is that basketball? Is that knowing Michigan State and how good, like talented, like they're going to hit threes, or is that just your history as a Purdue fan, knowing that there's never going to be like an easy, carefree game?
I mean, I think it's a combination of 3. In a basketball game, you're always going to have a game of runs, Clark Kellogg used to say on the NBA 2K games, spurtability, as I call it.
I could think, because I was thinking the same thing.
Some teams can't shoot very well, so their runs are different, like a Virginia or at times this year, Purdue, Indiana, 9.5 minutes without scoring Saturday against Ohio State. But Michigan State's just too talented. Look at their bench. Their 8th guy, 9th guy, they were McDonald's All-Americans, or at least maybe not McDonald's, but All-Americans in high school. And then, just as a Purdue fan, you kind of you're waiting for the something
heartbreak, the heartbreak,
the shoe to fall, shoe to drop, whatever. I thought for me it was more of, being honest with myself, it was more. I really did feel it was just Michigan State, just because I mean they're the 8th ranked team for a reason. I didn't think that they're going to continue to shoot as poorly as they did. I thought for sure they would kind of catch fire, whether it be Winston, Henry, whomever it may be. I thought
they were getting a lot of looks. They just
were. Yeah, making me nervous, and I thought for sure that the officials would start swaying things a little bit their way, just because of Izzo just works the entire game. Winston pushes. After going back, sorry, you just kind of made me really mad about something. Just reminded me, but I go back-to-back games. I have not noticed more push-offs than watching Xavier Simpson and Cassius Winston play basketball.
Veteran guards know how to work Big Ten officials.
Yep.
I think it was Kellogg called the game and was like, Cassius pushed off and then hit like a fadeaway jumper at the top of the key, and he was like, "Oh man, that should be illegal." Like, just that it was so good, and that reaction on Twitter was like, "Yeah, it is illegal. He pushed."
It was against the rules. Yeah. There was one point in the Michigan game where I don't know how they didn't see it, but I feel like Simpson literally just shoved Hunter like 2 feet back, and nothing was called. I was losing my mind.
Yep. And then, according to Michigan State's boards and everything, they didn't lose. The refs cost them the game. So,
Right.
But it was annoying a little bit how many Michigan State fans were in there. I mean, there weren't tons, but there was
there
a
was a
decent
good
amount.
amount. I was really
sprinkled
surprised.
around.
I didn't see him until we posted on our Twitter.
You did,
Yeah.
I did, yeah. The gentleman
clown.
That's putting it nicely, yeah. In the Michigan State shirt, hat, and candy stripe pants, which I don't know why any adult with a functioning brain would wear those. Just my opinion. But there was a section. I originally started out in a section and ended up moving down because there was an open seat by my family. But when they did the starting lineups for Michigan State, there was a large group behind me. And I was like, "Holy crap, that was a lot!" I didn't even notice.
Was that the Izzone?
It might have been.
I thought it was
very
the
concentrated, so it was probably the Izzone. But
Mhm.
this was. I know I saw some people talking on Twitter where this was. I was really hoping that this was a student game, but being at the last day of break, it doesn't count. The lower bowl was Paint Crew, which was great to have some of those guys back because they're awesome. But it was kind of annoying that this was a game that was scheduled at this time, knowing that a large portion of their fans were going to be able to make it for a Sunday noon game. Obviously, the university got a lot more money out of it than having it a student game.
They got a lot of money
with ticket sales and concessions and all that stuff. But it's just kind of, I wish that was a game like Illinois, or anyone but really Michigan State, Indiana, and hell, you can throw Michigan in there too. I feel like
I'm glad they're going to be back for Illinois. Illinois should beat Northwestern this weekend, and they'll be ranked. And we want revenge on them next Tuesday, a week from today. So, going back to the box score of the game, a few other guys I thought played well here. Also in double figures, Eric Hunter Jr. had 10 points. It seems like he does it every game anymore. We also had Sasha Stevanovic at 10 points. He had 2 of 6 threes. He always hits threes in Mackey.
Shoots like 60%.
Then we had Matt Harms at 6 points, 5 rebounds, but only 11 minutes of action. I was glad just to see him out there after his fall against Michigan.
And then he got hit in the first half. Yeah.
His hip flexor. Because during that Michigan game, we really missed him in the second half when Xavier Simpson kept getting to the hole whenever he wanted to. Aaron Wheeler, 3 points, like we mentioned, hit the 3 free throws. He was 0 for 4 shooting, and they were all 3-point attempts. But I thought he did some other nice things. Nogel Eastern, I think we need to give him some props. 9 points,
definitely.
7 rebounds, 4 of 5 shooting, was 1 of 3 from the line, but played tremendous defense, as did Eric Hunter Jr., who I don't think is getting enough credit. Man, Nogel guards hard.
Yeah.
I think Nogel, he needed a game like this where he just kind of does it all. 9 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. I'm surprised in the same steals. Okay, he had a very clear block that was called a foul in the second half.
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah. Where he came from the side on the sideline.
That was right in front of me. And when I saw it, I was like, I don't know. His reaction was, I didn't touch it. I was like, it looked bad from my angle. But then I saw the replay. I was like,
just a great effort game. Even if give him a lot of credit. He's clearly working through some things at the free throw line, but he plays hard.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I thought he played really well. Hopefully he keeps that going confidence-wise, because he was aggressive, and that's what Purdue needs to be, especially
got some those offensive rebound tip-ins there at the end.
If he can just tip it in 2 times a game, that's huge. Then you had Isaiah Thompson, 3 points. He hit 1 of 2 3-pointers. Jahad Proctor, 3 points. Jahad only played 14 minutes. Really seeing his minutes go down. But
I think with the play of,
Isaiah,
Sasha's coming on a little bit more each game.
Hunter, there's not as much minutes there. Hunter's playing really well. Hunter played 33 minutes. Yeah.
Yep. So, that was Purdue's last week, and now they're looking to a trip to College Park to play Maryland, number 17 Maryland. Maryland's currently down, playing Wisconsin in the Kohl Center, 16-9. How do you guys explain the Big Ten right now?
Drunk.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's pretty, what you say, I mean, we always what was like the saying is like, okay, if you're in win the Big Ten, UK, win all your games at home and go like 500 on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, this year
All
it's
your
like,
home games, half your
but now it's like win a couple on the road. It's what it seems like, and you're gonna do pretty dang well.
Yeah.
The thing I could honestly see, I could see Michigan State still winning the conference pretty easily with like, say, 4 losses. And I could see a bunch of teams stacked up with 6 or 7 losses right behind them.
Absolutely.
Yep. Whereas we had 3 losses a couple years ago and couldn't win the conference.
Yeah, it's just year to year it changes. And Andy Katz today came out with a bracket. He had 12 Big Ten teams in the tournament. 12 of 14.
Who wasn't in? Northwestern
and Nebraska.
That was what I think like 2 weeks ago when Lenardi put his bracket out. It was I don't know if this was right after the Illinois loss maybe, and Purdue was like last 4 in or first 4 out, and like Rutgers and Penn State were in. And I'm like, oh my, like what is happening?
The least amount I've seen is 9.
Man, it was just a indictment on just the college basketball scene as a whole. Just had to say the not a lot of top tier teams, but there's a crap ton right in the middle.
And that's everybody's losing. I mean, like I messaged you guys. Duke just lost to Clemson.
Speaking of Duke, did you guys see their jerseys they wore the other day?
Oh, they're pretty cool. Those black ones with white throwback font. It was pretty cool.
It's the only compliment I'll give Duke right now.
Yeah, but Duke's scary when they're not a 1. You kidding me? When they get a seed in the tournament, they're extra scary. Then you got teams like Carolina who are 500.
They're not making the tournament.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Struggling that usually good.
Yeah, okay.
You got your alma mater Butler. They're always solid, but they're not 1 seed solid usually. Right now, they'd be probably a 1 seed. If not, a high 2.
I think they're going to come back down a little bit, but they're tough. I will say I was way off.
They got a great culture. I mean, they don't look too impressive when you look at them physically, but they get the job done. That's all that matters. Iowa's up at Northwestern right now, 53-46.
Iowa's weird. I did not.
Yeah.
Because they had the whole Bohannon was going to be out, then he was not out, then he played.
Now he's out again.
Now he's out again.
Garza's playing out of his mind, which he was good last year.
They got a lot of good players.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you have Weiskamp. Is that?
Yeah, Wieskamp.
Wieskamp, yeah. He's good. So
Fran's son.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Fran? I don't really like him.
I'm annoying.
He's very he whines a lot. He's got a temper.
An Izzo Jr. type, just not as good.
I was being careful with him because they got rid of Alford. Fans were tired of Alford, and then they went downhill because they hired he was Butler's
Licklider.
And he did terrible. And then Fran. So it's interesting. I don't know. But looking at the other games, you guys want to do some picks real quick for the rest of the games this week? Tomorrow night, we got 2 games. Indiana at Rutgers. IU is 0-2 on the road. Yep, they've only played 2 road games so far.
It's January 14th.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
And
I saw. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
At the rack. They're 11-0 at home this year.
Yeah.
Without Geo Baker?
I believe he's still out with a thumb injury. Or hand injury.
That's tough because I used kind of like Purdue. They're a different team at home, aside, save for the Arkansas loss, which Purdue's, save for the Texas loss.
They've got stomped both their road games.
Wisconsin,
Maryland.
Yeah, Wisconsin and Maryland. Yeah. I feel like I think they started Tennessee this last game. Really kind of stepped up, which Tennessee is a really good player.
He hit 3 threes in the first 4 minutes the other day.
Yeah.
But he only ended up with 13 points.
Yeah. This is a
Trace
tough
Jackson Davis only had like 8.
I'm going Rutgers. I have not watched
get the free throws count they do.
Yeah, they're not going to shoot 40 free throws. And
Rutgers
I think
a lot tough on them. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I have not watched a single minute of Rutgers basketball, but all from Tanner telling me that they play physical. That I think they're going to out-muscle them in the paint, and Trace Jackson Davis is going to learn what the Big Ten basketball is all about. And first season's tough coming in with that.
Hopefully first and only.
Yeah, I hope he jumps. I don't know, though. I don't know if he'd be first-round pick.
The NBA is all in potential.
It's so hard to evaluate, though.
The NBA is all potential. So
I think Rutgers wins a close one. I think it's going to be close.
I think I'm picking with my heart more than my head.
Well, I'm going to go with you guys. On my podcast last night, I said Indiana was going to win, but I'm changing it. So But it wouldn't shock me, though, if they did win. They'll have
No.
quite a bit of fans there on East Coast.
Mhm.
They have a lot of graduates out there. So, Penn State at Minnesota. You got Penn State coming off a beat down at home to Wisconsin, and Minnesota coming off a good home win over Michigan.
Penn State still
Minnesota's
ranked?
8-1. No, they're not now.
Oh, they fell
Minnesota's
out.
8-1. Penn State's 1-2 on the road. Penn State's lost 2 straight.
Roll with the home team.
The
Same.
Gophers.
I mean, that's a pretty safe bet in the Big Ten right now. Pick the home team.
Yeah, I'll go with the Gophers too, because I think Penn State right now is kind of Lamar Stevens, and then who's going to help them? And
Yeah.
that's not a good place to be.
Nope.
So,
Well, that early last year.
Friday night, we got 2 pretty, at least potentially good matchups. Got Wisconsin at number 15, Michigan State. Yep, they dropped 7 spots in the rankings.
At
Hate to
Michigan
see
State.
it.
Yep, Michigan State's 8-1 at home. Wisconsin's 3-2 on the road.
I think Michigan State wins fairly easily.
I think big. Yeah, this is.
Yeah. Students
This
will be
is-
back.
Yep.
They'll be out for blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they win pretty easily. I think Wisconsin goes into a buzzsaw there at Breslin Center.
Yep.
And then the nightcap on Friday night, you got number 19 Michigan at Iowa, who's currently playing right now against Northwestern. Michigan's 0-4 on the road. Iowa's 7-1 at home. That's a tough one to predict.
That's a really tough one. A really interesting matchup of Garza Teskey, if that is the matchup, because I mean Garza's already really good, and they're probably going to play him just like they played Trey and Oturu, so
Mhm.
could just feed him all day.
I'm going to take the Hawkeyes at home.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm gonna go Michigan to be different.
All right, I was waiting for somebody to switch it up here
Yeah.
eventually.
Tanner, I know we talked about this.
Be like the third road win in the Big Ten.
yeah
It'd
all
be
year.
a
at
six, but
the
you're close.
Sixth? Okay.
It's only been 5.
we talked about this at the we talked about that dinner after the Michigan State game, but I noticed during when we played at Michigan, they kind of had after one timeout they showed inside Purdue's huddle and once inside Michigan's huddle, and it was just weird. It was cool to see the difference in how like Painter was, drawing up a play strategy, and then they kind of cut to Howard, and it was all just it's inside, just kill it inside, but there was really no how or
Just go
way to
score.
yeah, so it was just like, which to me it was like that's such an NBA approach, coach approach. So that'd be interesting to see how he really pans out there, because I mean obviously he's a first year coach, so he's gonna be learning, but
Yeah, it helps that as Phil Martelli, old
Yeah.
St. Joe's coach, as his associate head coach, because he's definitely got some pro attributes about his
Oh,
coaching
yeah.
style. So, but he'll be
they're
able to
gonna
recruit.
get a lot of talent though. So
Mhm.
They always
Yeah.
do, though, even
Yeah.
before he got there. So, we got quite a few games here on Saturday, 4 of them. First one at noon, number 21, Ohio State. They had a win earlier tonight at home against Nebraska. They traveled to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. Ohio State's 1-3 on the road. Penn State's 9-1 at home. And if Penn State does lose, like we all predicted, to Minnesota, this almost turns into a must-win for them already.
yeah,
About Ohio State too. I mean, how many they've lost?
They
4 in a
lost
row?
4 until
in
tonight.
a row.
Yeah.
yeah.
So neither team, can really afford. Ohio State is ranked 21.
I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I think they get back to back.
Home team playing the odds with the Big Ten.
Holtman
I'm
bias
agreeing
is
with
that
Andrew here. I'm agreeing with
Holtman
Andrew
bias.
here. Yep. Northwestern takes on their rival, number 24, Illinois, fighting on Illini. Northwestern's 1-4 at home. Illinois 10-1, or 1-4 on the road. Illinois 10-1 at home. Illinois
Where's
won
this
3
game at?
straight. Illinois.
Illinois, big.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, I think they win big and come into Mackey next week, holding
Top
their
20?
heads high and 4-game win streak.
They be top 20.
They could.
Could be.
And then the nightcap on Saturday night, you got Indiana at Nebraska. Nebraska's 5-4 at home. Nebraska did take them to overtime earlier this year, back in December.
Yeah, Assembly Hall. I don't like Nebraska.
Either.
I'm still embarrassed we got smacked by them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh God.
that
I
makes
think
me
Indiana
really
wins.
hope.
I think Indiana.
Yeah, I think that too. I think Indiana wins, but I would love
Yeah.
to see Nebraska win by 15.
Oh, sure.
or 80. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then before we predict the Purdue game, we do have one Sunday Big Ten game before the NFL Conference Championships come on. Minnesota at Rutgers. Two very physical teams. That's going to be a brawl.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 40 to 38.
That's good.
There's going to be a lot of
it is going to be low scoring.
Ooh, man. I'm thinking I'm pick Rutgers in that one.
I like Daniel Toro a lot, so but yeah, I'll probably pick Rutgers.
I'll switch it up and go Minnesota. I don't know why. I'm still not a huge believer in this Rutgers team. I think they're much improved, and I think Steve Pikiell's done a great job. But it's one of those teams, I'll believe it when I see it come Election Sunday that they're in.
How long is Geo Baker out?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're not up on the Rutgers basketball news, Tanner?
I'm not.
On the Twitter Rutgers basketball?
I guess I should be. I'm not doing my job as a podcaster. I apologize. And then lastly, Saturday, 2 o'clock, ESPN2. We got our Purdue Boilermakers at number 17, Maryland. Purdue is 5-3 all time against Maryland. Maryland did win the last matchup last year in College Park on February 12th by a score of 70-56.
Not a fun game.
Purdue was even up at half of that game, too.
Yeah. I just have a really bad feeling Anthony Cohen's going to go off for like 25.
He always gets his.
Yeah. But then again, I'm like, we're probably going to have Hunter on him, probably, I would assume. Because I know he's on the smaller side. I don't know who No Gel might guard. Because they got Smith, which that'll be Harms or Trey. Which
hopefully Harms is healthy by then.
Yeah, because that could be a mismatch. I guess I don't know. I will say this Michigan State game was the first time I've seen Trey get a lot of his stuff blocked back into his face, which was not fun to watch, but at least he got his in the end. But
he's gonna be he's gonna be a mismatch for a lot of people on offense, but he's gonna be at disadvantage against about every center in the Big Ten on defense. So just hope he doesn't get in foul trouble early.
Yeah.
Which he's done better at. The last few games.
These teams always seem to play close games, especially at Maryland. I just don't really like the matchup for Purdue, and Maryland's undefeated at home.
Yeah.
I think Purdue can keep it close, but I think Maryland makes enough plays in the end to get the win, unfortunately. Hope I'm wrong. Really hope I'm wrong, because this will be huge.
Yeah. This would kind of – I don't know. What do you guys think? This is kind of not a measuring stick, but just kind of to see if this Purdue team is turning a corner. If Purdue –
Absolutely. I think it is.
If Purdue competes, stays in, and then, if Maryland pulls away or wins by 8 or something like that.
They played well back-to-back games, so it's a matter of
they got good.
Whole week off, which is I feel like is good for Harms' sake. For where it kind of terrifies me as well. But it's a whole week to practice, put things together.
We don't know what mood Maryland's going to be in. They're playing right now, and they are behind 25-18.
I don't have a good feeling about it. I just don't. I don't think Maryland's that good either.
I think they're very over. I think Turgeon's one of the worst coaches in the Big Ten, in my opinion. I just don't think he's a good coach. He's a great recruiter. I just don't think he's a good coach.
Yeah.
I'm picking
Purdue. Go Purdue.
Yep. Close one.
I'm glad you guys are. I didn't.
Big Trevion fan. Big Trevion fan. So
Iowa has blown the game open against Northwestern. They're up 15. So
shocker.
Yeah. But Purdue's got a big week next week, which we'll cover on the podcast. Tuesday home game against Illinois, and then a Friday home game against Wisconsin. So, every game's going to be tough in the Big Ten. There's not really any easy games, but I feel like the schedule eases up just a little bit after Maryland. But Illinois is ranked.
I hope so.
So
we don't have to go to Michigan State anymore. Don't have to go back to Michigan.
Don't go to Minnesota.
Wait, we don't go to Michigan State?
No, this is the only trip.
Oh, nice.
So we're done.
Suck it, Tom.
We're already done with, I believe, we're done with Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska, and we'll be done with Maryland after this game, I believe.
Wow.
And then we only play Ohio State and Penn State once.
That's at
Ohio State and Penn State at home.
Yeah, we still have Indiana twice, Iowa twice. We still play Northwestern at Northwestern. That's end of the month.
I've got the schedule up, so I can just tell you if you want.
Sure, that'd be easier because
At Maryland, home against Illinois, home Wisconsin, at Rutgers, at Northwestern, home against Iowa, at IU, home Penn State, at Ohio State, at Wisconsin, home Michigan, home IU, at Iowa, home against Rutgers. So, yeah, no more Michigan State. And then, so after this, I mean, at Rutgers, is that a tough game now?
They're undefeated at home.
Yeah.
At IU, at Ohio State, at Wisconsin,
All the road games.
at Iowa. Yeah, really.
Except Northwestern. Shouldn't. But either should have Nebraska.
Yeah.
So, and that was our only meeting with Nebraska. That was kind of an opportunity wasted.
Yep.
But we'll even be done with Illinois after Tuesday next week.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Get a win and let them win the rest.
Split up because they clobbered us in football and basketball once. I can't take another one.
Your other podcast mate would be
I won't do it next
wouldn't
week.
he?
I would no, I would well, next week Monday, so it's the day before the game. So yeah, it's time to get one on them. But yeah. So one thing I want to mention, Purdue's up to 15 straight home Big Ten wins now. That ties the second most in school history. So
What's the most?
it's a great question. I don't know.
What the
I
heck?
should know. What am I good
Don't give me a cool fact and not
No.
have the follow-up.
I know.
Get Chris Foreman on the podcast.
And we only have 5 home losses in the last 4 seasons. That's pretty impressive.
Texas didn't have any last year. Then we had Ohio State.
Mhm.
There's Iowa and
That was-
Villanova.
Iowa was 2 years before that. The same year as Villanova, we lost to Minnesota
Oh, that's right.
overtime.
I don't think I was at that game.
I was not. Yep.
Hmm.
So yeah. So Mackey Magic's real. I don't know how this team plays so good at home. You got struggles on the road, but
How'd the crowd sound on TV, Andrew?
What?
How'd the crowd sound on TV?
Good.
I thought it was loud.
You did see some more green than I was expecting.
Yeah, there was, but I think it's starting to get the national reputation it deserves. Finally, it's taken a long time.
Yeah, long overdue.
Yep.
I mean, what was it? I don't know if that stat was right because I think it was deleted. But there was something going around where the last time Purdue's played a top 10 opponent, football or basketball, you had Michigan State in basketball, Virginia in basketball, and Ohio State in football. All 3 games were won by 29 points. But I think it was deleted, so I'm not sure there's something misleading in that stat. But
well, it's Purdue's 5th win in 6 games against a top 10 opponent at Mackey. That's pretty impressive. And they've won 4 straight in Mackey against Michigan State.
That was crazy. Hearing that stat, that I'm trying to think.
71-42 this year, 73-63 last year. Didn't play them at home 2018. We lost
Was
the Miles Bridges had a buzzer beater. Beat them 80-63 in 2017, and then beat them in overtime 82-81 in 2016. That's when Rafe Davis went off, but they came roaring back. Denzel Valentine.
Yep.
Those guys.
Yeah, Hammond's got a rebound at the very end. Spiked the ball. It was fun.
Yep. Yeah,
I met Robbie Hummel that night, actually, at Harry's. That was fun.
There's one more stat, too, I wanted to pull up here. I got to find it now, of course. Now I can't find it. It was something like Purdue's beat 4 top 25 teams by 25 or more points in the last couple seasons. The next closest number to do that for teams 2. Purdue done 4 times. It was Arizona.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I think they.
Yeah.
Michigan State, Virginia, and
Villanova.
Oh wait, are you talking about just in general, or is it like at home?
that was just
Oh,
Arizona was the other one because they were ranked at the time like
Number
3
number 2, or 2 or 3. Yeah,
2 years ago down in that tournament. So
battle for last place.
they've beat some blue bloods really bad.
mhm.
Yeah,
So really enjoyable. Quick basketball note before we switch focus real quick. Next year's incoming freshmen, Jaden Ivey and Ethan Morton, both were named today McDonald's All-American nominees. That doesn't mean they're picked to the team, but that means they're eligible to get picked. Purdue's had a lot of nominees in the past, but
Brandon Newman was one last year.
yep. Only Caleb Swanigan's been the latest McDonald's All-American.
Who was the last? Was it Mike Robinson?
Yep.
Yeah, he was the last one before
And
that.
Glenn
yeah.
before that.
Yep.
Say not too many.
Nope. And then football-wise, switching gears a little bit, George Karlaftis and David Bell both were named freshman All-American. No surprise there by the football writers. Really good accolade, I guess, for them, you can say.
So is that the official All-American, like what Rondale was last year, or is that AP?
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So I've been doing research to figure this out because what we were talking about before. So there's multiple. So there's like ESPN All-American, freshman All-American, and then FWAA, which I don't
Football
remember
writers.
some sports writers. I don't know. And then there's USA Today college football writers or something. I don't know if that's the same thing or not, but I was fact checking to see besides David Bell and George Karlaftis this year and Rondell Moore last year, who was the most recent Purdue freshman football All-American?
Well, I know Stuart Swagger was one, but I feel like there's been one since him.
There's definitely been one before him. I was not thinking of him.
Since him, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, because I think he was Big Ten Freshman of the year. The year
Was
they
he?
went to the Rose Bowl, I think so.
I did not
Stu was a
remember that.
freshman All-American?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I'll prove that for you.
Yeah, please.
Wait, so
no.
what was one? Is it before Stu? Or
No, after there was one after Stu. There's been someone since Stu.
Did you say someone, Tanner? I didn't hear
Oh, not yet.
it. After Stu. Oh Lord! Can you give us
John Stanford?
Later.
So
More recent. Sorry, more recent. That's what I don't know if that confused you.
can you give us an era? Who do you play for?
He went back and forth between Hope and Hazel, I believe. I honestly I don't remember when Hazel started.
2013.
13.
Okay, he played for Hazel then. Currently in the NFL. Currently in the NFL. Yes.
Was it D'Angelo Lancey?
No.
No.
Freshman.
They might have been in the same class though.
Freshman.
Because
In the NFL currently.
yeah. I'm trying to think of a freshman
Got that.
Diesel that's in the NFL.
Oh, you sure?
K1 played for Hope, right?
Yeah, he was a Hope guy the whole time.
He may have been one too, though. See, I'm going back. I'm just trying to figure this out.
Because Mostert and Hunt were mostly Hope guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't do much as a freshman, really, right? I remember
that's
they
why
came in. Yeah,
I'm just trying to. I cannot
You're telling
think.
me a freshman under Daryl Hazel, a 1-12 season, or 1-11 season was a freshman All-American.
Do you want the year? Like, would that help you?
Yes, that would be great.
2014.
Okay, so it was the second year.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Raplogle?
He
No,
was on NFL.
That's duh. Wow, idiot. Jeez.
idiot.
NFL.
Idiot.
So he just
He
graduated.
got hurt. He got hurt this year or last year. He played pretty well for a team that everybody hates. Bentley, yeah.
Oh,
you guys
duh.
suck.
Well, you know how long ago it feels
When-
like it's just
Oh, geez, I mean, I keep forgetting the whole part about being in the NFL. That's a hard part. I keep
When
forgetting.
Tanner, you said that, like, oh, I know one for sure. And I'm like, well, it's probably Bentley. That's the only one I knew
I
for
was
sure.
thinking Stuart Swaggart.
Jeez.
But Stu was like Big Ten freshman of the year.
What year was that, Tanner?
2000.
2000. Good.
Yeah.
He was that far back.
Yeah. 'Cause the Rose Bowl 2001. Like the actual game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 2003 was his.
It's Capital One Bowl.
Yeah, that was his senior year,
Mhm.
right?
That
Yeah.
was Purdue. That was the best Purdue football team I've ever seen.
Yep.
Most talented.
Amen to that.
Lost to Bowling Green by 1. Got kicked
Oh
out,
yeah.
lost an overtime game at the Horseshoe. Win that one, you're in another Rose Bowl.
That was the Capital One Bowl year.
That team
Yeah.
was the best Purdue team I think I've seen in my lifetime. They were better than Breeze's Rose Bowl team.
I remember. So that was like
that
Sean
defense was
Phillips,
stacked. That whole
Nico
defense,
Kudavidi,
the whole
Gilbert
defense played at least
Gardner,
a snap in the NFL. The whole defense.
Stu, yep.
Craig Terrell.
Craig
on that
Terrell,
team.
Ray
Lee,
Edwards.
Antoine
Ray Edwards was on
Rogers,
the bench.
Ray
I
Edwards,
don't think
Bernard Pollard.
Pollard was on that team too.
Yep.
Yeah. Pollard's posse.
Pollard and Edwards were freshmen on that team.
Yeah, I knew Edwards was a freshman.
Was Spencer on the team yet? Or he would have been later.
Oh, did we talk?
He
Was that
might have
last
been
week?
a freshman on that team, Evan.
Was he the same year as Edwards? I thought he might have
Spencer,
been.
I thought Spencer's last year was the Champ Sports Bowl in 06, which would have made him a freshman on that team.
I guess I didn't realize he and Edwards were the same.
But yeah, a lot of good defensive guys on that team. And then on offense, you had Kyle Orton, Taylor Stubblefield, John Staniford, young Dustin Keller. Nope. Keller was not on that team. I take that back. Keller was in the next year. He was a freshman. Joey Harris, Rod Voigt, Brandon Jones.
Yeah.
That was fun. Some good linemen too. So. Anything else you guys want to add? I guess. Oh, I got one thing here. That's why I brought it up on my phone. The odds for the next year's Heisman Trophy came out. Trevor Lawrence, of course, is the overall favorite and 7-2.
Yeah.
The top guy in the Big Ten is Justin Fields at 4-1 odds, Ohio State quarterback. The next closest guy in the Big Ten is Tanner Morgan, Minnesota quarterback at 10-1 odds. Surprised me a little bit.
Did they lose? They lost some of their receivers, didn't they?
They lost one receiver. They lost Johnson, but Bateman's back.
Okay.
They lost 10 out of 11 starters on defense. Minnesota did. So this is great for us. I mean, it's not a Big Ten related, but Kenneth Gainwell, Memphis' running backs at 16-1 odds. Heisman Trophy. We play them next year.
Yeah. Air Force has the guy on there, don't they?
What freshman Wisconsin running back has better odds than any player?
Yeah, who's going to run for 300 yards against Purdue next year? What's his name?
The next closest Big Ten player is Rondell Moore at 33-1 odds. And then after that,
David Bell. Come on.
You have Journey Brown, Penn State running back at 50-1 odds. Sean Clifford, Penn State quarterback at 50-1 odds. And Michael Penix Jr., 51 odds.
George Karlaftis, 51 odds too.
I wish. No other Big Ten players on the list. Ian Book, Notre Dame quarterback, 33-1 odds. So he's got the same odds as Rondell Moore. Speaking of Notre Dame, they promoted good old Tommy Rees to be their offensive coordinator today. You guys remember him? The old quarterback, Notre Dame?
Offensive coordinator.
He is their new offensive coordinator.
He's like our age?
Wow.
He's pretty close. Yeah. Pretty close. So
good for him.
Yeah, he was a Purdue killer actually. Yeah. But they fired their offensive coordinator last year that produced more points per game in the whole entire Kelly era. Got rid of him. Chip Long. Got rid of him. I think that's the name, Chip Long. Got rid of him. So
who cares?
But Purdue's early or their commits that are enrolling early are in school now and on campus, including Malik Carr, who was hoping to practice with the basketball team. I don't know if that happened or not.
I would be surprised. I feel like he probably be football right now.
Yeah.
I mean, especially get a chance to learn the playbook, worry about that. Because I feel like I don't know.
I think next year would be a better time.
He was saying that that's the reason he enrolled early was to play basketball. So
there's
practice.
No practice. There's no way.
Not play. Yeah. But I don't know because their 6 a.m. workouts are going to start here early February.
Yeah.
And then spring ball starts in March. I don't know. If I'm Brom, I don't even like that. I don't even like the idea of him playing basketball at all because he can break a foot, roll an ankle, tear a knee, then he's out.
Yeah.
But
fortunately, Purdue has depth at wide receiver. But yeah, that I agree. That would be a bad start.
Yeah.
If he tears an ACL in February or something of his
I get
first semester.
Is it the other more running
Marcellus?
He's not even really doing anything football in the spring. I think he's.
I'm sure he'll be. Yeah, but I'm sure. I mean, just because he's not doing spring ball, I'm sure he's got the playbook and he's going to meetings and doing things.
They already have those on their iPads.
Yeah, the iPads, though, man.
No, they have their iPads in there now.
I know,
but they got all swagged out yesterday by the equipment staff.
When did Allstott, the offensive lineman, when did he commit? Was that the last podcast? Did we talk about that?
We did not talk about that.
Okay, there you go.
But
that's why
Purdue got an
commits.
interesting offensive lineman commit from
Mooresville,
Indiana.
6'7", 280 pounds.
Jalen Allstott something.
Van de Vanderwelt or something like that. That's just off the top of my head. If I screw up his name, I apologize. But he's Mike Allstott's second cousin. He also said he's supposedly related to Anthony Spencer on his dad's side, but he said he's not too close to that side of his family. But his uncle told him he's related to him. So
some pretty cool Purdue connections.
Legacy.
Some weird intersection of Mike Allstott and Anthony Spencer. I would have never guessed it, but that's pretty cool.
He's the second member of the 2021 recruiting class, Station 21, hashtag Station 21, as they're calling it. So
Jalen Allstott Van Deventer, yeah.
Van Deventer, okay. Vanderwelt, I said it's Vanderventer.
So what's on the back of his jersey?
That could be a long one. That could be shoulder to shoulder right there.
It's going to be curved.
Arced. It's going to be having an
Eight font.
But yeah, no.
I've got another offensive line commitment for about
24 hours or less. Oh my gosh.
The world of recruiting. I am just glad I'm not around that.
Did you guys read that article?
No, where did you?
You
said, I read something on Gold and Black, but it didn't
there was someone posted or tweeted out a link to a Fort Worth, Texas newspaper article that talked about TJ Stormont committed to Purdue Thursday night, I think, after visiting Purdue on Wednesday. He and his parents.
Yeah, he committed.
Yeah, well, I think he committed Thursday night.
Yeah.
Friday, I think he's from North Carolina. I think Friday, his parents and him were driving to Purdue to move him in because he was enrolling in school yesterday. TCU called, offered him on Friday. They stopped in Louisville, got on a flight 6 a.m. Saturday morning to visit TCU, and he committed 8 hours later.
According to Brian Newbert, it came down to him wanting to play left tackle instead of right tackle. So, it is upsetting, but can't really fault the kid. Left tackle is where you get more notice for NFL than right tackle.
Yeah.
He's already has a good left tackle.
Yeah, just blindside.
Grant Herman's. So, but it sounds like, I don't know if he handled it very professionally. I heard an interview with Mike Carmen on 101.7 The Hammer talking about it. And he said it was the first time he had a recruit ever refer to him as buddy over a text message.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It stings. Sounds like he was pretty heavily recruited and would have helped a lot. And I remember when he committed, I was pretty pumped. I'm like, man, the offensive line might be, expecting the guys that Brown's got now that are being there for 3 years that are going to start hopefully contributing, and then you've got Herman's coming back, and then if you got to throw this guy in, and okay, we might have some big guys with some decent experience and might be okay. Yep. And now we'll see. I know there's a lot of other grad transfers out there that produce
a lot of quarterback options, but I'm starting to think the staff's not going to add another quarterback.
Three scholarships, or now is it back to 4? I don't know if that 3 was with Storman or not included.
That's a good question.
Maybe it's 3 still, but it seems like they're pretty heavy after lineman and linebacker and or defensive back even. So I'd be okay if we end up with a linebacker and 2 linemen, or 2 linemen and cornerback instead of a quarterback. But
spring ball will be here before we know it, but we got a lot of basketball season left, so we better be ready to take care of Maryland. And I better mention this podcast is brought to you by Schroff Landscaping Nurseries, like it is every week. Contact them at 574-223-2769 today for all of your landscaping needs. Might be a little chilly out to do any landscaping right now, but spring's right around the corner, and it's always a good time to plan ahead and get thinking about it. So contact Schroff Landscaping Nurseries, design with you in mind. And you can like the Boiler Breakdown podcast on Facebook, of course. And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Boiler Break Pod. You can follow me at _T_Lee. You can follow Andrew at AIler3 and Evan at ET_Web. Any closing thoughts?
Felt really good to beat Michigan State. Felt really good.
Yeah, it was kind of a big turnaround from that Illinois game, kind of a rock bottom to kind of made my weekend Sunday afternoon.
It was
absolutely
It was led the country in college basketball viewership. And it was
It was perfect timing right before the playoff game.
2.1 million. I think next closest was Baylor at Kansas at 1.5, which was a matchup of two top 4 teams. So
Yep. It was a perfect matchup right before that Kansas City-Houston game. So what a difference a week makes. So,
and we've had 2 games at home or home golds against top 5 or top 10 teams with 29-point victories. Might have to
big game golds.
Yep, might have to make it a staple.
Yep, and hopefully we can finally get a win in the black jerseys this weekend. Make some turtle soup and beat the Terrapins. Boiler up, hammer down.
Boiler up.